Hello everyone, welcome back to another session by K21Academy. Today our expert will be talking about domain 3, that is implement and manage storage. So let's dive in.
Implement and manage storage. So this storage is like, this was the biggest module like which we have covered, like lot of things were there. So secure storage, manage storage, configure Azure Files and Blob storage, right? So these are the things that we are going to discuss here, right? So to use the storage services, what we need to do is like, the first thing that we need to do is like, we need to create something called Azure storage account, right? Is a container that groups all set of Azure services together. What all services that it is talking about? It's talking about blob, queue, table, and file, right? We have gone through and understood thoroughly. Blob and files. Queues and tables are basically part of AZ-104, which is basically, I think, for developers, which is basically being used by them. But still, we have discussed about this, like how exactly it will work in the back end and all those things, right? Only data services from Azure storage that can be included to a storage account. So these are the four services that you will get. Different types of storage account: general purpose V1 and V2, in which you will get all the services. If you are selecting file storage account, only you will get the files only service. If you are selecting blob storage type of account and blob, only blob and append blob will be available. No, there is one more blob that is called page blob, right? That is where your operating system disk and your data disk will be kept, which will be in of .vhd format, right? Majorly, like operating system disk will be there, will be the part of your page block, right? I think I have discussed very much thoroughly like why exactly it will happen, right? So that is something there. Let's see how. Okay, Azure storage services. The basic of Microsoft Azure storage account is, of course, the storage types that you need to choose. The types of defining how you choose and what options and features you can use. There are 5 storage types of Microsoft Azure, and they can be divided into 2 groups by the design. 4 storage types, there must be some type of, right? So blob is there, queue is there, file is there, disk is there. So in blob we have unstructured large data, and it can be in page or blob, right? In queues we can use the queue. So FIFO will work. FIFO, first in first out, will work. It will create a queue inside which your data will come into the picture. It is very much reliable because in this queue until 7 days data will be kept, and it can go up to, I think, 5 TB. That's what I remember, the amount of data that can go up to that particular point of time. Until 7 days your data will be there. Now when we are talking about file, we can use this service for file share. You can, because why it is mentioned legacy, because you can connect your file share service to your on-premises file share server. So it will support the legacy also, legacy infrastructure also, and it works on SMB 3.0 protocol, which is server message block, I think, right? So that is what it is. And then we are talking about disk. So premium disk is there, high input output disk is there, and VM disks are there. So different kind of HDD, SSD, like different configurations are there once you will choose different kind of types of disks, right? So that was something there. When you're talking specifically about Azure Blob storage, binary large object is a storage area for text, audio, images, and videos. Every blob resides inside a container, right? So we understood like container is a folder kind of structure, but on top of this container we can also define access level, right? Access level, whether it should be accessible via public or only the private people or only specified people, right? So this is where you can specify the access level. Inside this containers you can create different containers, and inside this container you have to keep your blobs like this, right? Blobs acts as persistent storage where the data is stored for a long time. And we also know there are different access tiers also. So hot is there, cool is there, or cold is there, and archive is there. So we need to keep this in mind. And how we can manage it automatically? By using something called life cycle management, blob life cycle management. We can manage the blobs inside your containers or inside the storage account automatically. So you can move blobs from one access tier to another access tier. So that was there, something like that, right? Files, Azure Files is a Azure file storage service you can use to create a file share in the cloud, right? It uses server message block, that is SMB protocol, enable you to access files remotely or on premises via API through encrypted communication. So communication will happen encrypted over the internet also if you are using Azure file service. So this is an example that it is showing here, right? So that is what your Azure Files will do. There are a few more things, file sync services are there, which I had discussed, and you guys most probably, I assume, like you guys would have performed the practical on yourself to understand how that file sync service will work. That is something that was part of this 104 course, right? Now when we are talking about Azure Keys, so basically they are talking about Azure storage account keys, right? There were two keys, key 1 and key 2. Why? If key 1 is not being used or it has been compromised, you can reset the key 1 and in between you can use the key 2, right? So there is a redundancy feature while developer will be able to know if someone knows coding. So in the codes itself you can mention these two keys, or you can update these two keys inside Azure Key Vault and use that Key Vault URI to update inside the code with these two keys. If one key is being updated by someone, then key 2 will work. So redundancy at storage access level. So that is where you can use the keys. So Azure generates two 512-bit storage account access keys whenever you create an storage account. These keys can be used to authorize access to data in your storage account via shared access authorization, right? Your storage account access keys are similar to a root password for your storage account, right? It's a root password. So basically storage account name and your key is your username and password for your storage account. Always be very careful to protect your access keys. Use storage key vault to manage and rotate your keys securely, right? That is something is there. Avoid distributing access keys, right? Or hard coding them directly to the code. You can leverage Azure Key Vault there and saving them anywhere in the plain text. Either you can use the shared access signatures to distribute access to people, right? So there you are not sharing the keys, but you are mentioning, attaching a policy with your key so that people will get access for a limited period of time and for specific services. Something like that will happen, right? So that is what I was discussing, shared access signature, right? So shared access signature is nothing but it's a URI that grants restricted access rights to Azure storage resources. You can provide a shared access signature to a client who should not be trusted with your storage account key, right? This is where we are protecting our storage account by not sharing the key, but to whom you wish to delegate access to certain storage account resources. By distributing a shared access signature URI to these clients, you can grant them access to a resource for a specified period of time with a specified set of permissions, right? That is what shared access signature is. I think you guys already know it, you guys remember it, but I just wanted to do a quick recap on that. There is one sample question that we have. Your company is planning to store log data, crash file dumps, and other diagnostic data for Azure VMs in Azure, right? The company has issued the following requirements for the storage. Read out the requirement, guys. Administrator must be able to browse data in File Explorer, access over SMB 3.0. Storage must support quotas. Which storage type will meet your requirement? So answer should be Azure Files, right?
So, guys, this was our expert from Team K21 Academy. And if in case you missed upon anything or if you could not understand anything from what our trainers explained, then we have something really special for you. We have our free class on Microsoft Azure Admin Certification for beginners along with some question and answers. Under this class, you'll be learning about who should learn Azure Cloud and why. We'll be learning about Azure certification roadmap for beginners and a lot of demos about Azure core services, more than 30 plus hands-on labs and whatnot. And if you want to register for this free class, then you just have to log on to k21academy.com/AZ-10402. So just now, let me just give you a demo for the same. Alright, so what you have to do is just open your browser and type k21academy.com/AZ10402. After that, you'll be seeing a page like this. You just have to click on book your seats now. And after that, just select an event date when you're available, add your name, add your email address, add your phone number, and click on Yes, save my seat now. Moving ahead, you'll be seeing this kind of link on the extreme right. Just save that link, add it to your calendars, and I'll see you in this class. Till then, take care and keep learning.